Hi girls and boys, today we're going to be replacing a cable on a garage door, an overhead garage door. And it's the same process for a spring, for a broken spring or a broken cable. And we're going to get right into it, but basically the tools you're going to need is a couple of C-clamps. C-clamp. Anything from like this, so you could get away with something like this, but you're going to need a couple of them, okay? You could probably just use one, but you know, for safety's sake, you should have one for each side. You may need like some pliers or pliers, and maybe if you got to take the arm off the pulley, you might need like a wrench, but probably not gonna need. You probably get away without this stuff, but you definitely need these as safety items, and we use these to support the overhead garage door while we're working on the spring. That way your fingers don't get crushed in the rollers, or your foot doesn't get crushed when the garage door comes slamming down. So let's get into it. This particular door, and I'm gonna show you right now the issue with this particular door. The cable snapped on this guy, and as you can see, after it snaps and the whole spring went ka-chung, 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 and made a really loud noise. Of course, this is the safety cable. In case the spring breaks or the cable snaps, this thing weighs like 40 pounds and it's under a huge amount of tension. So in case that happens, this doesn't go slamming into your head. This is the safety cable that's left. But the support cable that lifts up the garage door and stuff is what snapped. And you can see there's a jumbled mess. Everything's all messed up right now. So we're gonna be going through this and straightening it out and putting it back together for you. It's a pretty straightforward process. If you are replacing the spring, I will tell you these springs are color coded. So at a certain point on them, if you inspect them, you will find a dab of paint somewhere, usually at the end, that tells you the color code of the spring, so you can go get the replacement. So as soon as I find that, I'm going to show that to you guys. Okay, here it is right here. I don't know if you can see it, but this is blue. Okay, this is blue. You see that blue paint right there? Okay, so this is a blue color code blue spring, which translates into whatever measurement of weight. But the spring is fine. What happened with this one was the cable snapped. So what we've done is we went and purchased replacement cable, and this is nice because it comes with the ends already done. You don't have to do it yourself, and it's cut to the right length and stuff. So I think they were like $8 or something, you know, which you would have spent anyway buying the rough cable, and then you would have had to do your own ends and stuff. So they come two to a package. We're only going to use one because we're just doing the one side. The first thing you're going to do is disengage the door from its shuttle, okay? The emergency disengage. You're just gonna open that up. Normally it would be closed like that. After disengaging the door, whether it's closed or not, you're gonna come and push the door as far up as you can get it, and then put a C-clamp on the track, just as you see here, and tighten it up. And that's gonna, as you can see, keep the door from coming down while you're working on it, or keeping the door from moving at all while you're working on it. Because right now there's only one spring supporting this door, so it's a little unstable. Now I'm going to give you a little tip here. We have the whole length of the door. This is a double door. That side, the spring is fine. It's actually supporting the door. This side, the spring is broken. When the door is closed, the operator, the electric operator, doesn't have the power to open it when one spring is broken or one cable is broken. You'll have to lift it manually. So you disengage it like I showed you. Then you're going to come to the bottom of the door, and you're going to put your fingers underneath it, and you're going to have to manually lift it up. Now what I'm trying to say is if you try to lift it up from the middle, it's not balanced anymore because the one cable or one spring is broken. So you try to open it from the middle. It's possible, but it's very difficult, very heavy, because the door is kind of skews itself with that one spring side still attached. So you really have to come like 2/3 of the way over to the side with the broken spring or cable and lift from that spot, not the middle. but lift from 2/3 over to the weak side, and then you'll find that it comes up much easier. Now what we're gonna do is put a ladder up there, and we're gonna climb up there and untangle the broken cable, or in whatever case, the broken spring and cable, and pull all of it out. You will find that most of the time this cable is either just simply hooked around something with this loop, or it's tied in a knot. So you really won't need, like, you might need like this kind of plier to help you get the knot out, but you probably could get away with no tools, because it's really not like fastened. It's just either looped or knotted. Now this is one end of the broken cable. It was just slipped over a button on the garage door. Okay, so here's the broken end and the looped over end. And this is all trash now. We're going to discard it, and be careful with your eyes, because these little pointies here is razor sharp, which is why I'm wearing gloves, and I recommend gloves and safety glasses. Nice work boots, and no alcohol or drugs in this job, because it can get pretty dicey if you don't do things right. That door can come flying down on you. Of course, if you have your C-clamp on the rail, that's not an issue. So we got the other end was basically knotted around the supports for the garage door with a bunch of overhand knots. So we basically got the length of one end to the other of the cable out, and what we have left is the spring. And remember, guys, the ends of those cables is razor sharp when it's broken like that. So what we have left here is the spring that this thing popped out. We're gonna have to get this back under a loop there, and just like this end is. Okay, see that? So we have to get this end like that. We might have to put it in a clamp to get it that way. And we got a pulley left. So we're going to inspect these pieces, and they appear to be free and in working condition. So let's put this thing in a clamp and see what we could do. So this pretty much got mangled out of shape. So what I'm going to do is match it up and see that it has to come a little bit together. So we're going to put it in the clamp here. and see if we can't somehow get this back in a shape that's usable. For us. Again, matching it up. We're getting close. Okay, so let's squeeze it together a little bit. Little bit more. Okay, that's just about perfect. So we're gonna put the what we're gonna do is try to screw this guy back like 2 rungs down into the spring. Oh, that's better. Okay. Okay. Fuck. Okay. All right, I got it started in there. Now. Okay, did you see that, boys and girls? That's how you get that, whatever the hell they call this, into the spring. And maybe now we're in the light, I can show you a little better. You see the blue? I don't know if you can see that. You see the blue? That's the color code. That blue is the color code. So it might not be so clear and dry, and it might just look like an accidental spray paint mark, but that's the color code. This is a blue. If you were looking for a replacement string, this would be a blue string. This pulley, you could see the groove is worn a little uneven. You can see this side's a lot higher than this side, but it still has enough of a groove to catch the cable, and the bearing in it is still okay. There's not a lot of free play, and it's not making too much noise and stuff. So this side is in 2 links on the spring. This side that we just did is in 2 links in the spring. Let's get back outside and thread that new cable. Make this real easy for you. You don't have to memorize anything. You don't have to know where anything goes. But what you're going to do is there's 2 sides to this garage door. This side, you could see the spring and everything is still good. We just broke the cable on that side. So what we're going to do is use this side as our template. And we're going to reference it and put the cable and the spring and the pulley, use that as a template and do the exact same thing on this side where it's broken. Okay, so you don't have to remember anything. You don't have to look at any pictures or anything. It's right there. That side is our template. Do you understand? All right, here's our new cable. Actually, this should be 2 cables in here. Yep, it's 2 cables. And we're going to use one as our safety cable and one is our working cable. And we're going to do it exactly the way it is on the opposite side. So the first thing I see is the cable is oriented, and this hooks up to the support over there. And the cable, a cable runs through it. I believe this is the safety cable. So I've threaded one cable through. I'm going to take it up over there. And I'm going to hook it to the screw eye that's up there. I'll hook this too. Okay. also in that screw eye, I just hooked the end of the safety cable. Okay, now, this second cable, I know one end hooks to the bottom of the garage door over there, okay, because that's where I took it off from. So, that's where it went to, over the pulley, and then, I'm going to reference the other side now. So there. So here we go. It hooks from here. It hooks from this button, which is the bottom roller. Okay, the bottom roller. It hooks from that button up over this pulley. It runs along to the pulley that's on the end of the string. It comes back here, and it goes to this hook. And then, because you have to take up the extra length, I could tie a knot, or I'm just going to put a screw in this frame here at the right length, which the end is right about here, and I got good tension on the spring. I want to try to make both springs have the same tension. So I'm going to feel the slack in this spring up here, and I'm going to do the same slack on the other spring over there. That's how we're going to do it. So I went back, I checked on the one that's still remaining, I felt the tension. I'm going to go back to the one we're doing. After that S hook, I'm going to pull it down along the wooden frame till I got the same tension as this side, because we want the garage door to remain even. And through the loop, I put this big washer into the wood, and that's what's going to hold it. I'll show you guys in a second. And the reason I'm doing this is because over there it's really tight with the room and stuff. I got like paint cans over there and tools and stuff. This is just the way I'm gonna do it. But you could tie a knot. If you had room over there, you could tie a knot. You could do something like this. You could use a nail, whatever. But the important thing is to have the tension on both sides relatively close to each other. Okay, so the safety cable, I just basically ran straight along with the other cables. I put around that S hook, let me show you. And I tied just 2 overhand knots. You know, the safety cable might get used once. It just has to support the spring as it snaps, if it snaps. So this is what we did with the safety cable. And it's very important, though. I might be talking dismissively about the safety cable, but please don't dismiss the safety cable. It could save someone's life years down the road. So you see the loop, and that's basically safety cable, which basically runs right next to the other cables. The one thing I did was make sure that these 2 cables run inside the pulley cable. As not, you see it runs inside there, as not to cause interference on the outside. So you'll just have to route your own cables and figure it out yourself. But you just basically don't want them rubbing across each other and stuff. If it can go inside and it's better than outside, just run it inside, because it is better than outside. Now we're going to engage, so it doesn't collapse on our head in case we screw something up. We're going to engage the disengagement key. Okay, we're going to engage the shuttle. We're going to remove the C-clamp. We're going to remove the C-clamp. Now we are we're going to test it for proper operation. Okay, let's test it for proper operation. Now we're watching our spring over here. Here's our pulley, you see the pulley? There's our spring. Everything looks cool, nothing exploded yet. There's our spring, here's our safety, everything looks good. Nothing's binding. Okay. The door's closes even. We're looking at the bottom of the door. Okay, that looks good. Everything looks good now. One thing, when it did snap, this sensor cable came loose, so we're gonna have to address that with some cable ties. We'll do that momentarily. Alright, I'll give a definite thumbs up to that job. Pretty straightforward, pretty even. Just use your head, watch your cables don't bind, and don't forget to run the safety cable. And don't forget about your own safety, glasses, gloves, big boots, and use your head is the most important thing. There's like hundreds of pounds of pressure involved in those springs right now. When the doors open, the springs, there's like nothing on them. When the doors close like this, those springs are stretched out to like 10 feet long. Snap, take your head off, you know? I mean, seriously, these are a lot of power in these springs. More than like if a horse kicked you in the head or something like that. So don't take this lightly. It's a dangerous job, but if you got your safety cables running, you're really taking a lot of the danger out of the situation. So it was a little chilly out there. We took care of that job. So it was pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Just really, and I can't stress enough, those cables is razor sharp. So watch your fingers, wear gloves, wear your safety glasses on your eyes, because if they're all flippy at the ends when you pull them and doink, and you got a hole in your retina, you're fucked. Be careful with that. Wear good shoes, use your head, and watch where those cables are going, because you don't want any crossing each other or twisted around and binding. The first time you operate, you make a big knot, and it's big trouble. Make sure everything's free, everything's lined up, and you won't have any trouble. You saw it's pretty straightforward and quick job. Well, it's a little chilly out there, and it's in a kind of tough position and stuff. It's like up, and I got the garage full of crap, But we did it, it's done. So look, if I helped you out, give the thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give the thumbs down. I don't care, just rate, because that's what YouTube is about. It's like social networking. I got the Handyman site, and I don't cut none of the bullshit out. I show you everything that happens. That way you guys know, and you girls know, what could come up in any possible job and how to overcome those problems, so you don't get scared and just stop and say, oh, I can't do that. Do it, and whatever happens, just work your way through it. As long as you don't cut your fingers off or get them crushed in a garage door, you're okay, So thumbs up and stuff. Video response is more than welcome. Thumbs down if you don't like it. Leave comments below. Any questions, put them in the box down there, because your questions in the future, as they're answered by me or other YouTube users, your questions may indeed help another YouTube user out in the future. So don't be scared to leave a question or leave a comment, whether you love me, you hate me, whatever. So if you made it through this long of the video, start clicking thumbs ups and typing some comments and stuff. And I'll see you later.